Hi, good evening all. Welcome to Blue and Gold Talk, the video on the channel, if you're new, that I usually talk Buffalo Sabres, everything and anything on this channel, which I'm trying to get back to doing, guys. So look, tonight, I guess you've seen the thumbnail. You know what I'm going to talk about already. There's a few things we have to go over, I think, because we're going to hear a lot of things. If we don't sign Tuch in July 1st, we're going to hear all sorts of trade rumors. You know, as far as our fan base is concerned, we're getting rid of everybody and we're going to start fresh. And I don't think so. We got quite a player here. And I think we have to sign him. We have to get him locked in. So I want to talk about Tuch first, guys. I've got some numbers here I'm going to go over in a sec. I just want to give you, you know what? I'll give you the number I think is fair for an extension for Tuch the years after. I'm going to give you some numbers here. I won't put them up on the screen because they're just simple numbers. Now, I compared it to Jack Eichel because, folks, I think we should. We should be comparing Tuch to Eichel because these were the two main components in that deal that we, that we traded. And I think Tuch has been every bit as good as Jack Eichel was in Buffalo. I'm not just saying that, guys. I mean it. I really do believe that. And would I trade him 1-for-1 for Jack Eichel right now? No, I would not. I would not. I just wouldn't. So I'm going to give you some numbers of Jack's, and then we'll look at Tuch, okay? And I'll compare them as we go along. So Jack Eichel, 355 points in 375 games as a Sabre. I'm not going with the career, as a Sabre. Jack Eichel, 0.95 points per game. Alex Tuch, 243 points in 281 games, 0.86 points per game. So 0.9 of a point per game better is Jack, okay? Which he should be. He's supposed to be. In 375 games, Jack had 251 hits. In 281 games, Tuch has 231 hits. He's better there. In that same 375 games, Jack had 205 takeaways, 310 giveaways. A lot of giveaways. And it hasn't changed in Vegas. If you go look at his numbers, that hasn't gotten better. So people are going to say, yeah, but he was on a bad Buffalo team. Yes, he was. But so was Tuch when he came. It wasn't like the team got all that better. We were hitting pretty much rock bottom by the time Tuch got here. And Tuch, in 281 games, has 235 takeaways, 30 more than Eichel, in 94 less games. Think about it. And 170 giveaways, 140 less than Eichel. Yes, in 94 less games, to Eichel's defense. And shooting percentage, Jack, 10.5%, Tuch, 14.2%. 5-on-5 points per game average. I did this as well. Tuch, 0.64 points per game average. 5-on-5, remember. Eichel, 0.60 points per game. So he averages slightly more than Jack does points per game average. But I think, guys, the one thing that we should talk about is the salary. Where Jack made $10 million a year, and Tuch made 4.75. I believe that's the number, right? 4.75. I'm just going off of memory there. I'm pretty sure it's 4.75. He's making less than half. So you tell me. And what I'm thinking, guys, a fair extension for Tuch would be 7 years at $8.5 million. I think that would be fair. And I think he would sign for that here in Buffalo. I do. Well, over there in Buffalo. I do think he would sign. I think he wants to be a Sabre. He's one of those guys that probably even might take less. He seems to be a good guy, and guys like that are rare in this day and age. You got to hang on to them. We got to extend Tuch, folks. That's just what I'm going to say about that. Extend Tuch. I'm thinking 7 years at 8.5, and if I had it my way, he would have been the captain, if I had it my way. I know a lot of you wanted Darlene. That's just me. You know, I mean, I love Darlene too, but I think Darlene's greedy when it comes to money, and I don't think Tuch is. Just how I feel there. All right. Second thing on the agenda, Jarmo Kekäläinen. Well, looking at his record over in Columbus, you know, some impressive things he did over there. I mean, I know they haven't ever had like major deep run or nothing like that. But you know, the Gaudreau signing, you know, God bless him. I mean, when Gaudreau went there, he did admit part of it was Kekäläinen, you know, like he admitted a part of that was he was very persuasive, this guy. So I don't know. I mean, I think we're lining up our next general manager. That's just my opinion, guys. You know, I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong. He might just be a guy that stays in the background. I don't know. But I got a feeling that this is maybe Pegula's way of not having to fire Kevin Adams and keeping him in the system and getting him out, maybe, and putting in Kekäläinen. I got no problem with him. I should have brought this up last video. I just didn't, but I wanted to do it in another video anyway. His resume from Columbus is impressive. If you go look at how many times they made the playoffs, you know, there's the big long winning streak we can talk about. There's a lot of things that were firsts for that franchise that this guy was in the background as general manager while it happened. So I think it's a positive move, folks. Anything with any experience is a positive move at this point. Anything. So let's not complain with this. Let's go with it. And you know, he seemed like a pretty good dude. Then when he was in that interview, you guys seen, you know, and with Duffer and Biron and like when he was talking there, that's I believe was in the interview. I only seen it once. Yeah, and he just was. I just seemed like really okay, very calm. You know, he seemed like a focused guy. We'll see. We'll see what he brings to the organization. If we have any luck, I know what you guys are going to say. If Adams is gone and this guy comes in, there's going to be like a celebration out in Buffalo. Let's just hang on to that thought for now, okay? And last thing, guys, I got the Sabres better be taking notes, guys. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about there, the Sabres better be taking notes on the Florida Panthers, because the Florida Panthers are showing us that a franchise in disarray, like us now, can eventually become like they are now. Did you guys ever think you'd see the day the Florida Panthers would become this? Really? This? I think they're better than Tampa Bay was. I think this is a better champion. That's how good I think this team is. Now, I'm not writing off the Oilers, guys. I know last game was hilarious, and it was Oiler fans maybe are getting humbled because, my God, out here, I'm so sick of hearing that we have to have a Canadian championship. I'm so sick of it. So sick of it that I always root on the U.S. team because of it. Because this isn't international play, guys. The red and white comes on this guy when we're playing the U.S. in a big game, of course. But in the Stanley Cup finals, why should I care? You know what I mean? That's what sickens me about being Canadian sometimes. It just does. It drives me nuts. Anyway, the Oiler fans really thought they were going to win 4 straight. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been reading the notes out there. They were like assuming it's a wash. After they won game 1, they were even more convinced. Not this guy. No, not when you're up against a beast like this team. And this team showed last game that they can unravel an opponent that had them in their clutches. And now, like Toronto, they've let them slip out of their fingers. Game 2 in overtime and double overtime. Didn't the Oilers have a breakaway too? They let the Panthers out of their clutches. And this is the end result in Game 3. So Game 3, I got to tell you, I was laughing yesterday watching that. The Oilers not only came unhinged, they became criminals. I mean, they were taking their stick and just whacking the Panthers. It was just crazy, guys. And all the Oilers fans are saying, oh, yeah, it's because of the refs. Are you kidding me? Are you guys that weak? Really? That you really believe that? Are you are you kidding me? All they did, and you seen at the end of the game, they were pointing at the Oilers and laughing at them. Pointing and laughing at them because they wanted to fight them and everything, the Oilers. And they just shook their head no and just pointed at them laughing, say, yeah, try it next game. You know? Because I'll tell you what, there's a time and a place to get a team. And I do believe that too. There's a time and a place. And the Oilers didn't have a reason to. It's not like they took out McDavid. Or they purposely injured like 3 Oilers. This is hockey. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. It's supposed to be rough and tough. And the Oilers were acting like they took out McDavid and Draisaitl for the year. The way they were acting. They were acting like little spoiled children. Brats. Pouting that they're not getting their way. Because I think the Oilers, after game 1, I think that dressing room thought they're going to win the Stanley Cup for sure. And now they're starting to feel the effects of that. It doesn't work that way. So I think, guys, the rest of the way, if the Panthers are going to be convincing, like I've called it from game 1 of this series, it's going to be Panthers in 7 in overtime, I believe. I think that'll happen. But if it doesn't, Panthers in 6. Because if the Panthers can win next game is key. If the Oilers win it, I still think the Panthers are winning the Cup. This is kind of a free chance now to really put a lock on the series for Florida. And that team has the killer instinct. That's why I'm saying I hope the Sabres are taking notes. I hope the kids are watching this and learning that a team like Florida, who had never won a Stanley Cup, have become one of the great champions of the last 30 years. This is how good these champions are, this team. This team, to me, is better than the Blackhawks. They're better than the Kings. They're better than Tampa. This is a fun champion to watch, guys. They're mean. They're tough. They don't let anybody dictate to them but themselves. And this is going to be really fun to watch the rest of the way because now, will the Oilers be unhinged next game? Because if the Oilers come out unhinged next game, lights out. They're done. They're done. And I still, I can't understand Evander Kane, why he did what he did early in that game, why he took the stupid boneheaded penalties and just put them on the defensive right away. And their coach didn't even say nothing. There's a lot of weakness I see in Edmonton right now. But again, they got 2 of the greatest players in hockey on that team. And we're going to see. We're going to see what they're all about, aren't we? Because last year in Game 7, McDavid was a ghost. Will he ghost them again this year? Because if he does, comparing him to Gretzky and Crosby and all these guys, you can't do that when the guy doesn't show in the most important games. He just, as great as he is, you cannot compare guys like that to or Gretzky, Lemieux. You cannot do that till he shows up. And he hasn't. He didn't show up last year, and he really didn't show up last game. Last game, though, they really contained the Oilers emotionally and physically. And let's face it, the Oilers took so many penalties that how's McDavid supposed to get on a roll? They're out there killing penalties all day, right? So, guys, I'll leave it there. You tell me what you think. Tell me your pick. Tell me if you guys think the Panthers are going to win this thing. I'm really, really pulling for the Panthers. I really want them to get it because I like to see an underdog franchise do what they're doing. This, for me, is good for hockey. The Oilers have got 5 cups, guys. They had the greatest forward in the world ever. And traded him. So, I'm going around and I'm kind of, what would the word be? Trolling. I'm trolling the Oiler fans, saying, no, you guys aren't winning to 2090. It's a 100-year curse. You won the cup in 1990 for Gretzky. Now it's a 100-year curse. All right, guys, done for this one. And, hey, I'll let my little friend come say hi. There she is, the one and only. Rosie is here, folks. Rosie's here. You being a good girl? He's being a good dog? Eh? All right, let me put you down. Yeah, so we will see next game a lot. I think really, well, let's face it, the Oilers can't go down 3-1 and expect to rally because they did last year. That's just stupid thinking. people will say, yeah, but they came back last year. You think the Panthers haven't learned from that? You know what I mean? No. The Panthers aren't going to let that happen 2 years in a row. No chance at all. I think the Panthers will close them out in 5 if they win next game. That's how much the Oilers have to win this game just to kind of throw the momentum, you know? So as much as I'd love to see it happen, I do think we're going to have a long series still. I'd love to see the Panthers close it in 6. That's what I'm hoping kind of now. We'll see. All right, guys, done for this one. Good to see you again. And guys, have a great night. And I'll talk to you probably after next game. Have a great one.